Hello. Like many of those who are fortunate enough to have a garden, this period of lockdown has seen us getting round to tidying it up and transforming it into our own design. After a long wait, the 850-kilogram bag of shingle that we ordered eventually arrived and was safely and carefully left on a pallet in front of our garage door. We then, of course, needed to get the shingle through the side gate into the back, and we do not possess a wheelbarrow. Fortunately, our neighbour does, although she usually keeps it in a shed on her allotment. There would be no problem whatsoever in borrowing it, she told me, but she did warn me that it had been vandalised. One night the said shed was broken into, and persons unknown defaced the wheelbarrow with some lurid graffiti. You might recall the picture of the wheelbarrow on the icon for this video, taken of course on the opposite side to where the offending image can be seen. Although she tried to remove the graffiti, the image still remains, albeit slightly fainter than originally. Whether it be spray painted on the walls of underpasses or scratched centuries ago into our church doors and pews, the mark left by the one defacing lives on. Graffiti artists are often known by their style and have their own tags, the equivalent of signatures. Of course, this is not a new phenomenon, and indeed there are 1st and 2nd century examples of Christian graffiti that have been discovered, messages that have been scratched into surfaces that can still be clearly seen today. The fact is that graffiti is very hard to get rid of, and you will see faded messages sprayed on motorway bridges, railway arches and elsewhere that refer to a person or an event only remembered by a few and now unknown to most. You would need to be of a certain age to remember the George Davis's innocent messages that appeared all over the place in London during the 1970s. Graffiti leaves its mark. Thinking of the wheelbarrow, I was reminded of the permanency of marks and inscriptions. Some of you will know that I have 2 tattoos. One on my right shoulder is a small Celtic symbol of the Trinity, whilst the one on my upper left arm is very much larger indeed, featuring an eagle and some words based around Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. Needless to say, much thought and careful planning went into this before the tattoo artist got to work. There is nothing worse than a tattoo that you later regret. In the sacrament and act of baptism, after splashing water onto the baby's head 3 times, I make the sign of the cross on the child's forehead with my right thumb. Once the water has evaporated, though, there is no visible sign, no indelible mark to prove and bear witness to what has just taken place. Nonetheless, that person will always and forever be marked as a child of God and carry that symbol to the day they die. Of course, the proof of being marked with the sign of the cross is nothing to do with any ecclesiastical graffiti or eternal etching, and everything to do with how we live our lives. The acid test of being known and seen as people of God is in the way that we live, in the way that we act, in the way that we speak, and in who we are. So may all that we say and all that we do be as indelible and long-lasting as the graffiti that is left behind. Amen.